Started on 10, made a weak bogey up 10, and then I chipped in on 12 for eagles. So that really got me going. Then made 4 in a row on the back nine, got pretty hot, and then wind was a bit tricky out there, and 5 under.
Okay. You've had a fantastic year over on the European Tour. How nice is it to come home and be replicating that form?
Yeah, it's good. I obviously started the year well, and then I went a bit flat through the middle of the year. Even though I was making a lot of cuts, I just really wasn't doing too much with it. So I kind of really wanted to finish the year on a high, and then I did that in Turkey and the week before and the week after. So then I come back to the Aussie Open, I was probably a little bit flat. I'd done so much travel, and I thought I could get the job done, but I just wasn't feeling good. So week was pretty disappointing there, so I really wanted to finish this week on a high and did a bit of practice over last weekend, and so far so good.
Rod.
Wade, we spoke earlier in the year and you talked about a year in Asia and getting comfortable at the top of leaderboards. Does the Wade Ormsby that's in the lead 36 holes of the Australian PGA, you're more comfortable now than maybe if you'd been in that position last year, the year before?
Yeah, definitely. I was in a fortunate or unfortunate position to get my card instantly in Europe, so it's a good thing. You take it with both hands, but I've probably never learnt how to win because I got thrown in the deep end. So I kind of kept my card, but I never really got up around the front. So by going back to Europe, even so back to Asia, it felt like I was going backwards a little bit, but at the same time, it's the only tour I had to play on. But I was able to feature around the top of the leaderboard a lot more, and that obviously makes you feel more comfortable. So I'm just trying to bring that out to the bigger tours and back out to Europe, and every time I've got there and playing with the bigger players, you feel more comfortable. So that's what it is. I feel like my game's definitely stepped up a notch. So I'm looking forward to whoever I've got to play with tomorrow. Hopefully Scotty, but I'm not sure how it's going to work out. So go from there.
Greg.
How do you embrace the challenge of being a couple of shots in front of Adam Scott, or do you think about it, or how do you sort of tackle that?
No, you got to enjoy it when you're around those big guys, especially a mate. It's great fun. So like I said a couple of weeks ago, when you play with Poulter and Westwood in the last group, it doesn't get too much bigger than that. Obviously, Scotty's a bit more higher ranked player than them, but it's good. That's what you dream of growing up, playing with the big players, and just trying to do your thing. You kind of try and do your thing. I'm sure there'll be a few jokes out there if we are playing together, but you just keep trying to do what I'm doing. You speak to your caddy and try and get the job done.
Bruce.
Wade, I think I remember you telling me a few years ago you actually rented, did you rent Adam's house, or you stayed in Adam's house when you first went to Europe?
Yeah, 2004.
So you're pretty close mates?
Yeah, exactly. We've kind of very similar age. I think he's a few months younger than me. But you do the same thing in junior golf, and then went off to university together. He didn't last that long over there. I think he's ready to turn pro, and he made the right call there. He's always been a sounding board for me to bounce stuff off and all that. But even though we don't play as many events together now, he's always kind of there on the end of a phone or a text message to add some support or give you some sound advice, because he's been there and at the top, so that's good.
Brent.
Can I just push a little bit more on that, Wade? I mean, you mentioned you're good mates and you bounce things off him. I mean, how often does that happen, and how frequently you're sort of doing that?
Yeah, it's not as much in the last 4 or 5 years, just because we're on a completely different schedule. If he's right up the top of the leaderboard somewhere, I'll fire him a text. But it's been just nice bounce. Just hearing how they go about it and seeing how they go about it, because he's someone you can get a bit closer to. You can't get close to the other guys, so you just kind of stand there and just watch, and you can learn a lot.
Yeah. So you've learned a bit of him that's sort of helped you get to this point, and things that might help you over the weekend?
There's lots of little things, all those big players, you definitely can learn the way they practice and all that kind of stuff, and what their routines are, tournament week and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just Adam, it's all the big guys are like that.
Do you think, knowing him so right as well as you seem to know him, that if you're playing with him tomorrow, like a lot of players will get intimidated by that, or can get intimidated, but the fact you know him, that would make it a lot easier, would it not?
Yeah, I think I've said this to my dad recently in the last probably 12 months, because when you're growing up and you're playing with the Ernie Earls and some of the generation of players before us, you are a little bit more intimidated then, because they are idols of yours. But some of these guys coming through now, you've come through junior golf, college golf and amateur golf and whatever else. So yes, they are much better players at this point, but you're comfortable with them. You're comfortable in their presence, whether it's I know there's plenty of guys, Rory, all the guys in America who played in like university with Matt Kuchar, all these guys you play with all the time, but you feel like, even though, yes, they are high-ranked players, you do feel a lot more comfortable in their presence because you do know them, where you put like Ernie Els and Tiger Woods up on this pedestal, and that's just a matter of getting comfortable out there.
Was the house you rented, was that in Switzerland? And how much rent did Scotty charge?
No, it was in early days. I was in the UK, so no, we'll leave that one alone.
Brendan.
I know we're only 36 holes in, but what would it mean to, one, win on home soil, and two, to win and set up 2015 for you?
Yeah, it'd mean a lot. My father's a PGA member. He's been a part of the PGA for 40 odd years, so we're pretty. PGA is a big part of our family, so no, that would mean a lot to us. It mean a lot to me as a family. From a professional point of view, yeah, sure. To get a win on home soil will be massive. Yeah, I think I've had a pretty good year, and a win would be a nice way to top it off, you know. That's one of my little kind of things I had in the back of my head. I wanted to play majors this year, I did not, and I want to have a win and make the race to Dubai, so I've done one of the three, so hopefully I can change that on Sunday night.
Are you the kind of player that sits down at the beginning of the year and writes down goals?
Absolutely not. I'm the opposite. Even though I just said this, feel like there's 3 goals there, I just try and play good golf, you know, try and get my game in the window to play good golf, and whatever comes of that, comes of that. Otherwise, get disappointed or you're chasing, you come off the pedal. I just try and play good golf every week, and that's all you can control. Sounds like a cliche, but that's just the way it is. That's all I try and do.
Do we have any final questions?
Last week, did you go back to South Australia? What did you do?
Well, actually, I went back there for 2 days, and I flew to Sweden, picked up my son, and flew all the way back to Adelaide. So I had a week in an aeroplane. So then I had 2 or 3 days with him playing, and then 2 half days practice, and up here. So had a busy week in an aeroplane.
Is he with you this week?
No, he's not. He's back with my mother. So he's going to come up here. I was going to take him up to the amusement parks and whatever else, but yeah, family reasons just didn't allow him to come up here. So no, he's at home watching, I hope. Oscar with a K, and he is 4.
Just on that, obviously the news has come out that Scotty's expecting his first kid. Do you have any advice for him as a dad on tour and what he's going to be facing?
We've had a few chats about it, so no, it's good. So it's the same for everyone. It's an exciting time, so I'm sure we have a great time.